Okay, now we're talking about your why. I want you to understand, I said this earlier, but it's very true. This is the closest thing to a success insurance policy that you can take out. It's the closest thing to a silver bullet I can find in life, and I put in the written text, is a sink or swim moment. So I just want you to respect that and pay that its dues. If you do this well, you can move on quickly and you will reap the benefits. But if you don't do this well, it's gonna suck. So because of that, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna run you through very, very quickly how to find your why. But I have developed a really solid section in the Clarity course, as well as a resource that you can in depth go through that is gonna help you really find a strong why. If you feel like you need that and you're wondering if it's worth the extra time, even though you're trying to move quick, a resounding yes would be my only possible answer. It is worth it. However, if you don't feel like you need that to find a strong why, I got you. Let's go to the board and let's talk about this. Why? Okay. This is what drives you. We gotta figure out what's driving you. Let me give you an example. If someone said you had to make this business venture a success or else your mom would be murdered, I wouldn't personally doubt your ability to get it done. You wouldn't doubt your ability to get it done. No one around you would doubt your ability to get it done. In fact, for better or worse, this isn't me saying they would support this, but when you tell them about it, they would say, how can we help? How can we get involved? Because they would, one, understand the seriousness of the matter, and two, believe completely in its success. So they would be a part of it. They would want to be a part of it. There would be a reason to be a part of it, okay? That's the power why has. Now, do you need something that dark and dramatic? Absolutely not. But you do need something powerful. And it needs to be so powerful that other people feel it when you talk about it, all right? And it has to be powerful enough that it gets you through all the challenges necessary to pay the price for success in whatever you're about to set off on. Let's talk about how to do that. One thing I would ask myself, I want you to go back to when you first had the idea, whatever the idea is that you're embarking on right now. And I want you to ask what sparked it. Think to yourself, what sparked it? Were you having a conversation with someone? Were you watching a video? Was someone telling you a story? Did you get access to some new data? A lot of times if you trace it back to the source, and then you're able to find the source of why that moment mattered, why it set you off on this journey, that could give you a very strong hint as to what your why is. I'll give you an example. Let's say that you trace this idea back to its source, and its source was a buddy telling you about how he traveled the world. Maybe you thought in that moment, if I could start my own company, I'd be able to make the amount of money that he's saying it cost him to do this trip. And as you were thinking about it, you started scheming in your mind and you realized, okay, he said this cost 10 grand, I could make 10 grand, I could do this in 3 months and then I could be able to take off because it's my company, and then I could be able to, and that was where you started strategizing. Okay, probably your why is that you want to travel, okay? Like that would be a very strong indicator. Or maybe, why are you wanting to travel? Maybe you could trace it even deeper. My family lives across the world and I haven't seen them in 10 years. I'd like to get back there. You know, there's a million different reasons, and the more you're able to, okay, this, but why that? But this, but why that? You can trace it back to the root. Does that make sense? All right. How would achieving this dream affect those I love? This is a good one because some people maybe aren't even doing it for them. Maybe they're doing it to get their mom out of a job. Maybe they're doing it to help support their family. Maybe they're doing it to help their younger siblings buy a car. Maybe they're doing it. There's a million different reasons. Maybe someone you know is sick, and if so, I'm very sorry, but maybe you're trying to take care of them. Who knows? But that might be a driver. It might have to do more with those you love than who you are as in yourself. It might even be, well, my kids, or it might be my future kids, or it might be my wife, or whatever it is, all right? Think about this. If I achieve my goal, how will that affect those I love? Another one. What fear will I conquer by achieving this dream? For some people, it has more to do with breaking out of their shell, establishing some sense of identity, and conquering a fear. And if that's you, that might be a very good driver. Sometimes people feel caged or held back, and it's feeling like I'm going to do this to prove that I can overcome it. And if that's you, this question might help spark that. Finally, I could go on for a long time, but this will be the final question we'll talk about today. What devastation will occur if I don't do this thing? If I don't, what is the negative impact that will have on me or those I love or whatever? Now, something you might notice, there's a common thread and a common theme between all of these. Because all of these are meant to be able to probe back into what's driving you, whether that be a carrot you're running towards or a stick you're running away from. And so there is a similar thread between all of these, but it's me attempting to poke at it from different angles to try and figure out what most resonates with you. Now, in the resource that I made, I was telling you about earlier, that's very in-depth, there's 27, I believe, questions, all like this. Very good at probing to try and find what might drive you. And then it's a whole process to be able to really delve deep. Here we're just going to do 4, but what you can understand is these are all different sides of the same coin. Understand conceptually what these questions are meant to ask in your heart. And once you do that, maybe you can even find the right question to ask. So the bonus one is maybe you know the question to ask. If so, ask it. Okay? The point of all of this is to give you food for thought. Find the answer. Find that reason that really drives you. And here's something very important. Write it down and keep it in front of you. It does you no good if it's back in a storage facility of your subconscious mind or a stack of papers on your desk. Write it down. Keep it in front of you. Review it regularly. I review my why probably 5 times a day. That's what's going to help you. Not just the strength of your why, but keeping it in front of you. Do that, and like I said, silver bullet, insurance success policy. Success insurance policy. I said that backwards. All right, let's move on to counting the cost.